Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today I got something very exciting that I want to show you. It's in regards to trading, but this is going to be towards cryptocurrency trading. Um, just for the reason that the program that we're talking about today, it's only available for cryptocurrencies, different exchanges, which is good. If no matter if you have Kraken, Binance, Coinbase, you could use this program right um, right with them through an API. But I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about strategy optimizations. Um, I know, let's say you have a strategy. In this example, we're going to use an indicator called the RSI. It's a super easy indicator to understand. Pretty much it says when the RSI is under 30, then you want to buy in, and when the RSI goes above 70, you want to go ahead and sell your pair, or your, let's say in this case, your Bitcoin. But I don't know if you guys ever wondered, like, why 30? Why can't it be 20, 25? Why does the value have to be 30 to be a buy signal? Or let's say to sell your currency, why the value 70? Why does it have to be over 70? Could it be 50? Could it be 60? Or could it be 90? Uh, these are big questions that we have as traders, and though we all seem to follow this general guideline, uh, buying when it's under 30 and selling when it's over 70, it it is a basic foundation for the indicator, but it's not always the best choice. And I could show you guys why there is a better way to actually find those parameters. Let's say right now I got the RSI strategy working, and we're doing a bunch of optimization through machine learning, and it found out that 30 is not the best buy-in. It's not the best place to buy in when it's under 30. It actually considers me buying in at around 40, 41, I believe, and the sell is going to be 94. So this comes to a big factor that we might not be getting the best profits buying in at 30 and selling at 70. We could actually use different numbers depending on the time frame. Sometimes the time frames, if they're a lot larger, you're going to have a smaller value. Like, let's say the RSI will be 25. Then the computer will tell you, hey, don't use 30, use 25. Once the RSI goes under 25, you buy in. And let's say the computer will tell you, well, 70 wasn't the best place to sell at either. Actually, I want you to use 84. And this is the cool thing about technology now, is that we're able to optimize our strategies through computer codes. It's very simple. I don't have a lot of skills in Python. I've probably been coding in Python for about a year. So I'm not the greatest, but I actually am able to use this program and get everything running. And it's very cool because machine learning is our future. Artificial intelligence is our future. And if you could make money with it, by all means, why not? Why not use it? The strategy that I was talking about is the strategy from the last video. So when the MACD crosses over and RSI was under 30 at a certain 5 candles back, well, this is going to be the same strategy that I gave you guys on TradingView, but I recoded it, I put it onto Python, and I have the machine learning Python program having certain parameters. So like I told the computer, hey, I want you to search between 0 and 50 for the buy signal, but if 30 is good, then just use 30. But let's say if the buy signal is not good at under 30 RSI, then use whatever that would make me the most profit. And I did backtest it. I got some results, and I'm super excited to show you all this because it does work and it's very awesome. And as well, for the disclaimer, I know that these strategies, they do work and they will make you money, but this is predicting the future. So when I'm using this programming software, pretty much what it's doing, I'm giving it, let's say, a year of data, 2 years of data. Sometimes if it's a lower time frame, like right now this one's on the 5-minute candle time frame. So I only gave it 200 days of data, which is a very good amount for the back testing. But I'm gonna give it that many days of data, and it's just gonna back test through the entire chart. So exactly how you see on TradingView, the chart going up and going down. Well, the computer is gonna see that in numbers, and it's gonna predict a better outcome. And though these outcomes, they do work, it's predicting the future, so it's not always correct, and you always got to look at it and see, oh, is the robot trading okay? Is everything going on right? But let's go ahead and jump in. Alright guys, before we get started, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I came across this trading software. And how I learned it. Actually, it's a course on Udemy, and it's called Algorithmic Trading, Backtest, Optimize, and Automate in Python. These are the guys that taught me everything I know about FrexTrade, which is the program that we're going to be using today. So if you guys want to learn about how to install FrexTrade and how to use it, this guy Musan, he did a very good video and a course about how about learning how to use this program. So this is the course. Right now it is not on sale, so it's actually pretty expensive. It's like $100 or something, but I actually bought it for $15. And well, Udemy, every, like, let's say week or two, they have discounts. So this one was $15 the time that I bought it, and it usually is frequently $15. So let's go straight to the actual creator of FrexTrade, and let's go to that home page here, see what we have. So some features for FrexTrade, the software that we're using today, is first thing, it says develop your strategy. So you could write your strategy in Python using pandas. It has a whole list of strategies that you could use. Let's say if you just don't have any of your own and you just want to use someone's custom strategy that they've made on FrexTrade, there's a place where you could actually download like 15 strategies for free, and start using the program, see if you could optimize those. As well, the second tab says download market data. This was what I was talking about the other day, where you download historic data of the exchange and the markets that you want to trade with. So in this case, you don't have to trade for one specific pair. You could actually trade 10 pairs at you could download like data for 10 pairs at a time, or let's say 100 pairs. Right now I use about 40 pairs, the top 40 in Binance. So that's what we're going to be using to actually optimize and backtest. So in this case, the next tab says backtest. What we're going to do here is test our strategy, original strategy, using that historic data that we downloaded off of Binance. Second, we're going to go ahead and optimize. And what optimizing is, it says that it's going to find the best parameters for your strategy using hyper optimization, which employs machine learning methods. This could optimize your buy signal. It could optimize your sell signal. It could give you three take profit points. So let's say the computer will say get out at 5%, get out at 8% within 20 minutes, and then from 20 to 40 minutes, get out at 5%, and then from 40 to 60 minutes, get out at 1% or break even. So that's the cool thing about this, is that it does give you an ROI. Next is very important, as well as stop loss. The computer will generate a stop loss for us for our strategy to make sure that it's at the best parameter that will make us the most money. And the last thing is trailing stop loss. So that's a very important parameter as well for your strategy. And you don't have to use trailing stop loss. Sometimes I don't use it depending on the strategy, but it does come in really good. Let's say if you're doing higher time frames, it does work well. So next tab says select markets. Create your static list or use an automatic one based on the top trade volumes. Pretty much what that means is that you could create your own list of pairs that you want. Let's say you want to trade, in this case, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Data, and those 5 coins, and you want to like make sure only those coins are traded with this strategy. This program gives you the ability to actually use just those pairs. But let's say you want the computer to find out the top 5 by volume. Well, there's a way that you could tell the computer just to trade the top 5 every time for your strategy, no matter what. So whenever the computer's running, every time there's 5 with the best volume, it's just going to trade those, which is cool. Alright, so we're on the next tab, which is right here, and it says run. So you have the ability to test your strategy with simulated money, which is called dry run mode in FracTrade, or you can deploy it with real money, which is live trade mode, which let's say once you feel confident that you ran your strategy in dry mode with fake money, and you feel confident that it's going to make money because you ran it for a month and like it made you like 200% profit or something. Well, now we're going to have to move on to using real money, which is the live trade mode. And yeah, that's pretty much it with that. The next one is going to be run using Edge. Edge is just it says here the concept is to find the best historic trade expectancy by markets based on variations of the stop loss, and then allow reject markets to trade. The sizing of the trade is based on the risk of the percentage of your capital. That one sounds a little confusing, and sometimes it is. I haven't touched it yet, but pretty much what it is, Edge gives us the ability to download data. So like when we're trading live on Bitcoin could drop 5%, but alternative coins could drop 10%. Every coin pretty much drops a different value whenever there's a crash in the market. Well, with Edge, it's going to be downloading data while your strategy is running every day within the past 7 days, and it's going to see how low percentage that the actual price goes. Like let's say Bitcoin falls 5% within 5 days. Well, it's going to use that 5% as a stop loss to make sure that your win rate, let's say if your buy signal does trigger, that your win rate is, let's say, 60% based on previous data. The next one is called Control Monitor, and this is pretty cool actually. This is one of my favorite things that Fractrade has. So it says here, use Telegram or REST API. And pretty much what it does, Telegram is a messaging software. And well, with Telegram, and let's say when you run the strategy live, you want to see how it's doing, you want to monitor it. Telegram is the messaging software for that. When you're running your trades live, Telegram will actually send the notifications to your phone whenever it buys. It'll send a notification whenever it sells. It will calculate how much profit you made within the entire month, and it'll tell you. And it will also tell you how many trades are open currently. It tells you the summary about each trade. Let's say it'll keep track. Bitcoin made you 10% today, and tomorrow, the next day, Ethereum made you 5%. And so it keeps track of every win and every loss. This is very important because this is how we actually find out if the strategy is worth our time, because this will literally tell you everything about what the strategy is doing when it's running in dry mode or in live mode. So this is a little bit about the actual program here. So now let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, I just wanted to briefly talk about the 3 big things that we're going to use with the Fractrade program. So I wrote them down here. I'm also going to copy and paste them on YouTube, so you could just go ahead and download all this information. I'm going to give you the strategy for free, and here are the commands. So pretty much every time you start the bot, you have to type in cd fractrade, and then you had to type in source bin activate. So what I mean by that is when you're in a terminal, you got to go ahead and type it in here. So it says cd fractrade. Oh, sorry, that's capital. It's got to be lowercase. cd fractrade. It goes into the Fractrade folder. You go to copy this right in there. It gets you into a virtual environment, is what you need. So now every time you start up Fractrade, you have to do those 2 steps, and then depending on what you're trying to do, let's say you want to download data. One of the main things we're going to use is downloading data. The main thing with Fractrade, it's before you use it, you had to run this command. You had to do Fractrade download data. You put your configuration file. Mine is called usdt.json, and then the time frames that you want, and the days that you want, how many days you want for those time frames. In this case, I wrote down here what we're going to be using today, which is Fractrade download data. Configuration file is USDT. The time frame is only going to be the 5 minute, since we're going to test the strategy on 5 minutes, and 200 days of data. So once we download the data, we want to go ahead and backtest the data. So with this code here, you just put Fractrade backtest, you put your configuration file one more time, and then you put the name of your strategy. In this case, the name of my strategy is called MACD RSI 200. Last thing, when you find out you're backtesting, and you're going to realize that the actual parameters that you have for the original strategy are not always going to be the best. So you might just get some very bad backtesting results, but it's okay, don't worry. This is the best thing out of the program, and it's called Hyperopt testing. And actually this is the optimizer. This is machine learning pretty much, and this is what's going to optimize your strategy to make it better. It's going to give you a better buy signal, it's going to give you a better sell signal, it's going to give you all the take profit points. It's going to give you the best stop loss. It's going to give you the best trailing stop loss. So it's all done here, and this requires, I believe, 3 files. So first things first is the command fractrate Hyperopt. -C means config, and your config, let's say in this case I named mine USDT.json. Yours could be whatever you like. -S means strategy. So my strategy once again was called MACD RSI 200, and right here is the Hyperopt file. So it says --Hyperopt MACD 200 opt. That's what I named my optimizer. So every time you create a strategy, you also had to create the optimization file for the strategy, so the computer can know what parameters to search through. The last file is going to be the Hyperopt loss file, and this one comes in Fractrate already. The one that I'm using that came with Fractrate is called Only Profit Hyperopt Loss. The reason why I'm using the Only Profit Hyperopt Loss is just to show you guys that there is a lot of profit you can make by using this program. But the main one that I usually use is actually, it's not the Only Profit, but it is called the Sortino Hyperopt Loss, and that's also comes with Fractrate. So that's this a plus if you want to use that, if you're really conservative with your money or just want to make sure that you don't lose money. The Sortino Hyperopt Loss is very awesome. -E means evaluate, and well, it could also mean epoch. We're giving it 10,000 different evaluations. So the computer is going to go through backtest 10,000 different ways that the strategy could go and find the best parameter. Spaces --spaces mean well, it's set at default, and pretty much what that means is that the spaces are the parameter spaces. In this case, default, you always want to keep that default, but let's say if you wanted to search only for the best buy, and you would do this, you would do buy. So spaces, you're only looking for the best buy, or if you're looking for the best sell parameter, you just put sell there. Or if you're looking for ROI and stop loss, you could just put both of them on there. Alright, so let's get started with hyper optimization. And this is pretty much what we want to learn, is how to optimize a strategy. So the first things first is we got to give the computer a configuration file. In this case, I told you that it's named USDT.json. So that's our configuration file. It looks exactly like this. If you guys don't want to be type this, don't worry. I'm going to go ahead and give you all these files. So you'll be able to download all this for free. So it says we're going to run it on dry mode false. In this case, we're going to do true, because we want to make sure that we're not using real money when we're testing these strategies, especially when we just optimized one. The ticker intervals is 5 minutes. That's the 5-minute time frame. Max open trade is -1, meaning that's infinite whenever it's a -1. The trading balance is 1, meaning 100% in decimal. So next will be the stake currency. We're going to be using USDT. The stake amount is $100 per trade. So every trade is going to be using $100, and that's going to be in USDT. Amend last stake amount is true. And the dry run wallet is 100,000. So we're pretty much our dry run mode is going to have $100,000 of money, and it's going to go ahead and trade at $100 each trade. So next one is going to be trailing stop, which is set to true in this case. Actually, I'm going to delete these files here because we don't want the optimizer to be using these configurations, because we want the computer to actually give us the parameters itself. So it says this stuff you really don't have to change the buy strategy or the ask strategy. I'm not going to go much into detail, but I do like to mention that the next one that you're going to be using is exchange, and well, you just put the name of your exchange there, you put the API key right in here, and you put the secret key right inside there, so that will connect straight to your trading account. We have pair whitelist. This is where you put all the pairs that you want to trade. This one's pretty huge list. We got like 40 coins in here, so 40 different pairs. You don't have to trade all 40 pairs, but in this case, for this example, we're going to use all these pairs. We got Bitcoin, USD, Ethereum, BNB, Theta, Ripple, all the good stuff, high volume coins inside this whitelist. And there's also a blacklist. Let me go down. So if you don't want the computer to trade a certain pair, like let's say you don't want it to be trading Ripple, you could just add Ripple right into here, right in these spaces, which would be like doing this, and then we just change that to XRP. So there, we don't have Ripple being used during trade mode, live trade or dry run. But in this case, we're going to use all those in the whitelist. And then Telegram is a big one too. You're going to have to make a Telegram and put your token here and your chat ID. It's all explained in Telegram, in FreckTrade. So don't worry, and if you do want to learn more about this, I highly recommend watching that Udemy course. So next, we're going to be talking about the strategy. The strategy, the minimum ROI goes in here. The stop loss is set here. The indicators are all going to be in this area. So for this strategy, I have the EMA 200 being used, I have MACD being used, and then I have RSI being used. For the buy signal, it's called populate buy trend. And for the buy signal, this is my exact same strategy from TradingView. It says here, buy when the RSI 8 candles ago is less than 41, and the close price is greater than 200 EMA, and the MACD has crossed over the MACD signal. So the next one is going to be populate sell trend, and that one's going to be completely inverse from this strategy here. So pretty much what we say here is that the RSI, the five candles back, the RSI max has to be greater than 93, and the MACD has to be greater than 0, and the MACD has to cross below the MACD signal. Next file is the optimization file. This file is going to have the populate indicators, which were the indicators on the strategy file as well. We're going to have the generate ROI tables, which is this. This is something that I made here. It doesn't come with actual FreckTrade. So I'll go ahead and post this below. The ROI spaces. So I tell the computer to search through these parameters looking for this amount of profit, which I said max profit is going to be 5%. So all these combined is 5%. and the stop loss as well. I told the computer it is down somewhere down here. Not sure where the stop loss is, but I set the stop loss at 2%. I don't want the computer to go higher, to put me at a loss more than 2%. Or no, actually it was 5%. 5% was the stop loss value, so the max I could lose is 5% for each trade. This right here where it says buy strategy generator and where it says sell strategy generator is where the optimization happens. You can see the RSI. I gotta put 8 there. So this right here is exactly what's on the strategy. So if I go back to strategy here, it's just copied and paste right in there. And the same for the sell strategy. It's going to be sewed in right here. Copied and pasted right there. The only difference between both is this thing right here. So where it says param, sell RSI value, that right here is saying this right down there. So it says sell RSI value is entered in here, which parameters is 50 through 100. So I gave the computer to sell to search through 50 and 100. And so it's kind of like if this wasn't there, it would say like, so when the RSI is greater than 94. So it goes through from 50 through 100, and it found out 94 is the best value in that for this example. So let's go back and put those parameters there. It does the parameters for the RSI on the sell and as well for the buy. And then the last thing where it says populate by trend, populate sale trend is exactly from this file here. So what I did, I grabbed this, I copied it from the strategy, and then I go to the optimizer, and then I just paste it right in there. Last one is our Hyperopt lost. So this one is going to be profit only, and the class is called only profit Hyperopt loss. And that's pretty much all you need to know about this file. I wouldn't suggest modifying it. It's already made by the FracTrade team. So they pretty much made this to find the best percentage of profit for your optimization. All right. Now we are digging into hyper optimization, and let's see here. What we are using is this code right here to optimize. So it says FracTrade Hyperopt configuration file USDT. We're going to use the strategy called MACD RSI 200 and the optimizer called MACD 200 opt. Last one is going to be Hyperopt loss file, which is profit only Hyperopt. Then we have the evaluations, which is 10,000, and then the spaces, which is default. So once I go ahead and click enter, it's going to go ahead and optimize our strategy, and I'll go ahead and show you the results right after this. Alright, so you see it running. Now it actually gives me an error. Impossible to load Hyperopt loss, profit only Hyperopt. So I'm pretty sure I typed that wrong. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Oh, I see what I did. The file is not called profit only, it's called only profit. There we go, run it one more time. It's going through all the 200 days of data that I gave it. Sometimes it says missing data because Binance does upgrades every so often, so it doesn't always have all the data. And it is now loading and optimizing the strategy for us. This takes a long time. Sometimes it takes days, usually about 15 hours for my computer, because my computer, I have a Ryzen 5 2600 processor, and the RAM, I have about 32 gigs of RAM in here. So my computer's alright. It's not the best, but it does take some time. Alright guys, for the sake of shortening this video, I went ahead and did 50 days of data on the backtest instead of 200, but don't worry, we're still going to use the 200 days of data. For this example, I want to show you how it looks when you're doing the hyper optimization. So let me go ahead and stop this with Control C. This is the information that I get back after evaluations. So you can see at the top it says the best, the epoch number, and the trade amount, the win, draw, and loss ratio, and the average profit, the profit in total in dollars, the average duration for each trade, the stop loss, the win rate, and the ROI would not be on your front trade for the reason that I actually I programmed these pieces in. Like stop loss, I programmed that in so it could tell me where the stop loss is. But in this case, let's say since we have it here, the stop loss, it shows for the best parameter is 2%, and the one that was above it was 17%. So I'd rather go with 2% stop loss because that saves me a lot more money. It shows the win rate. This one has a 58% chance of winning. The one on top had a 69% chance of winning, and so forth. Return on investment, this one is not working correctly yet, so I filled it in with the stop loss. It just shows the stop loss exactly what you see over here. So this one still needs some work. I still need to fix that, so don't worry about ROI. But eventually it's going to be the max ROI for the trades. And then you'll see here the objective. And the objective, it starts at a very high number and then it starts going negative. When it starts going negative, the better. In this case, it stopped at -15, which is very good for this strategy. And now let's talk about the information that the strategy gave us. So it says out of all the evaluations, it found these as being the best, but it said evaluation number 35, which is epoch 35, is the best result for that time period. So evaluation number 35 had 503 trades. It had 293 wins, 13 draws, and 197 losses at 2%. So that's very good, because more than likely the wins are way greater than the losses in this case. The average profit for the wins is 0.17%. The median profit is 1.17%, and the total profit in dollars would be $85 within 50 days. We have an average duration for each trade, which is 319 minutes. And then the objective, which is -15. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that there. Let's go here. Average duration, 319 minutes. And objective is -15. So the parameters that it gave us, it said instead of using below 30, it said 29 is better. So use 29 as for your buy strategy, and use 91 for your sell strategy. So what we do here, well, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about the ROI. This is the ROI tables. So pretty much it's got everything from 0 minutes 165 minutes, 241 minutes, 428 minutes, and all these are just pretty much telling us at from 0 to 165 minutes, get out at 2%, almost 3%, but at 165 minutes, between 241 minutes, get out at this 2%, which is a little lower than that one. And then from 241 and 428, get out at 1% profit, and so forth. We have our stop loss down here, and it's set at 2%. So that's the max we're going to lose for each trade. So now that we have these, we just got to go ahead and input this information onto our strategy. So if you look over here, I got my strategy file, which is called MACD RSI 200. What I do, I go ahead and copy this information. Just go ahead and copy all of it. And then we go ahead and paste it over here. So it's going to look exactly how it looks right there, which is copied and pasted. I'm not going to paste that information because I already have the evaluation for 200 days of data. This is the indicators, and then now where it says use buy RSI 29 and sell RSI value 91, you want to go ahead and put that here on the strategy. So where it says 41 there, I would have changed that to 29, and where it says 93 there, I would have put 91. And that's pretty much it. So it's very simple to add this into a strategy. And so that's how hyper-optimization works. Now let's go to backtesting. So I use this code right here. And it says FracTrade backtest configuration file USDT. And then the strategy is MACD 200. So I use that, I press enter, and all this information came up. And gives you every trade, every buy for every trade. It tells you the win for like in this case, that is Bitcoin. So it says for Bitcoin, the win is 64, the draws are 18, and the losses are 28. For Ethereum, we got 89 wins, 11 draws, and 35 losses. And if you notice right here at the top, you see that we're using 200 days of data now on the backtest. So we actually are not using 50 days of data for the hyper optimization. I already had an optimization running for like 2 days, which gave me this for 200 days. And so let's look at, now that you know all the pairs and all the information about the pairs, you could find like all the buys, the average profit for each pair. Like in this case, there's some that are negative, like this one says negative 39%, and that's LTC. So this strategy doesn't really work well with LTC. I lost $51 actually with LTC. So I probably would consider taking that one out, and keeping one like data made me 87% profit, which is awesome, which is equal to $87 because we're doing $100 stake amount of $100. So it generated $87 in profit for that specific pair only. The duration for each trade, this one says that it's 7 hours and 9 minutes on average, but others take longer. Like Bitcoin, it took 1 day and 3 hours on average to get out of each trade. It's still a positive percent, which is good. So well, let's go down here to the bread and butter. You'll see the ROI, which it says here how many wins has happened in total, how many losses happened in total. It tells you the draws in total, the accumulated profit percentages and all that good stuff there. And as well, it says within 200 days we got 596% profit. So from the $100 that we're staking in all these trades accumulated 500 times, 500% more than that $100 in 200 days. So, I mean, that's really, really good in my opinion, because if you have $100 and you keep on making all these trades and your $100 turns into $596 within 200 days, that's awesome. Imagine if you had bigger stakes, like let's say each trade was $1,000, and in 200 days you would have profited $5,960. Same ratio, which is very good. Alright guys, well that's the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed what I had taught you today, and hopefully you guys go out and try FracTrade. It's a very good program. And please like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. I know it was hard for me to go deep into into depth with like how this program works, because it does take a lot of time to learn and stuff. But if you do want me to make more channels, please let me know in the comments. I'll be more than glad to go over specific topics that you guys have in mind, like how to make optimization files or how to create strategies. But yeah, thank you, and have yourself a good day.